I look at them and I thank God that I have them, that I went through all that for them.
Today's video is a little bit of a different format. I just got off of a video interview with my YouTube bestie, Life with Lo, but I'll stop talking now. Let's just jump right into the interview with Lo. Hi, thanks for getting on with me today. I'm so
Hi.
excited to get into your story. Let's start from the very beginning. When did you and your, yeah, this might have been a while ago, but when did you and your husband first start trying to conceive?
We've been trying since day one of our marriage. And yeah, so like a good 4 years we were trying.
Mhm. In those 4 years that you were trying, did you at any point go to a fertility specialist, or was it just 4 years of just
Well, I started to get like nervous after 2 years. Two
Mhm.
years, because George, I remember he was like, the moment I touch you, you're gonna get pregnant. And I was like, okay. So I got super excited, like, yeah. So it was like 2 years. I was like, okay, you've been touching me a lot. What's going on? And and it was nothing. And then I started thinking in my head, I started like getting worried. I was like, maybe it's me. I had to be open with him. I was like, babe, maybe it's me. And he's like, no, it's not you, it's me. So, we had that
Mhm.
little argument going. And then we're like, okay, that's another year. So there's our third year. And then we're
Mhm.
like, nothing. Like, okay. So our fourth year, we're like, okay, this is it. It's 4 years now. We're not getting any younger. So let's go see someone. At first, we saw this very natural lady. And
Mhm.
I don't want to go too much details, but it was a waste of money. It was nothing. It was pretty much the same thing that I read on the internet. I just paid her money for it. It was a good chunk of our money that we had saved.
Did she do, like, any tests or anything
She
like that,
did
or
everything. It was weird because everything was very natural. Everything was like, you gotta check your mucus, you gotta check your chart, you gotta check what you're eating. So it was things that I already heard, like going on YouTube, watching you, and things like that. So after I think couple months, I was just like, George, it's not going anywhere. So we had to say our goodbyes to that lady, and that's when we started our IVF process.
Oh, so you jumped right into IVF when you
Right.
did go to a specialist?
Yeah,
Okay.
after her, we're like, let's go see a doctor. So we're like, let's go to the IVF and see what they have to say.
When you did go to the IVF specialist, did they do any tests on you and give you a prognosis on why it had been taking so long?
They did a lot of blood tests. There was like 17 or more, like different blood tests to see my hormones, to see if I'm having any eggs. And then my husband also did some tests too, to see how his floats are going and everything like that. But they also did, we did a test to see if my uterus were open, or if they were closed, and everything was fine. Everything was perfect. At one point, though, the IVF doctor, did say that I'm going to need egg donor. And that broke my heart when he said that. So I was like, I don't want to do that. But then my sister, she talked to me. She's like, look, this is the only way. Like, you're going to carry the baby and it's going to be your child. So I was okay with it. But then we went back again to be like, I'm okay. Let's go for it. He was like, let's do one more test. And we did this other blood test. And he was like, it came positive. So you could use your eggs. I'm like, what? I was like, thanks for like,
Yeah.
no breaking me down. I wanted to strangle him, but it was nice that,
Yeah.
that he had another idea. So it was good. It was crazy. And then he was like, we could use your eggs, but we have to do it now. And that's when we're taking action. So it was like, that's when it all started.
When you started the IVF process, what all does that entail? Did you have to pay everything up front?
Yeah, that's one thing. It took a toll on us. Thank God for my family and a lot of friends and so much support, man. Me and George, we didn't want to come out with this. It was so heavy on us. So we're like, we just need to come out and just tell people, because everybody and the grandma's like, when are you getting pregnant? When are you getting pregnant? So it was just like killing me. I was like, babe, we need to tell people we're having problems. And
How
that's
did you
when
tell them? Like when people asked you those questions, what would you say?
people started noticing my posts about like waiting on God, my chance, my day will come. Like they started noticing for like a good year. I started posting stuff like that. The day that I did my oh my gosh, uterus appointment to see if it was open or not, I did made a statement about it, and a lot of people was like, wow, like, like, I'm here for you, Lo, if you need anything. So that was really, really nice. To get the medication, it was 12,500, and that was like pretty much cash. We have to give it to them a check. My husband took a loan out.
Yeah.
So, and then the medication, that's the only thing insurance covered like a little bit. I still had to pay out of pocket another, I think, $800 out of pocket. And then all the going in there for ultrasound, that was like money. So I think altogether, I say like $16,000 that we have to cough it up. And now still, we do have one embryo left, and we have to pay $800 a year to keep it frozen. So we already paid 2 times.
Now with the IVF process, what is that process like from start to finish, I guess, just to get the actual embryo into you?
It's very fast. I got it's like a week. You do a lot of shots, you take a lot of pills, you do everything, and it's like a week and a couple days. And then after that is you do the trigger. The trigger, that's when the following day you pretty much get the eggs out.
Every day you have to shoot yourself with hormones?
But pretty much in the morning, then at night. Yeah, pretty much like twice a day. Yeah, I had the last couple of nights, I had like starting to get bruises and stuff on my belly, which it wasn't as bad as I seen already. So I was like, okay, I'm okay with it. But you do get super bloated. You feel like you're pregnant because your boobs get big, they get itchy, and your belly, you look like you're pregnant like a couple weeks already because you're so bloated. It's just all the eggs and the come together. So, and then you go to the doctor's office so many times, and my doctor was 90 minutes away. So that was insane. Sometimes I'll have to go for just blood work. Literally, you go in for 10 minutes and come back out. I was like, that was 90 minutes of driving one way, and I gotta do the other way. So it's a lot. So when you do IVF, make sure you get a doctor close by.
Who did the shots? Was it you or your husband?
That was my husband. I could not,
yeah, that would freak me out.
I would just like get a pillow and bite the pillows. Like, no. But some of them, it didn't hurt as much. I forgot which one. It did sting a lot. So when he will go super fast, I was like, slow, because you feel it like going into your belly, yeah. So definitely.
Is there anything to help it feel less painful?
I will put ice. I will put ice on my belly and then numb it a little bit, and then he'll do the shot. That was the only thing. And then after the shot, I'll put the ice on top of it just to cool it down a little bit.
When you finally got done with all those rounds of shots, did you have lots of eggs that had grown, or what happened from there?
My last appointment, they said I had 16 to take out. So I'm like, oh, okay, I got 16 eggs. I'm like, yes, this is a good number. Some people have 30. I'm like, yo, I'm okay with 16. And then that day to get egg retrieval, on my video, you see that I'm crying when they told me they only took out 6. I was just like, that's not a lie, it's just 6 embryos. How many is going to make it? Because usually it's half will make it. Now I was scared. I was like, great, I have 6 eggs. So half of them will probably be, 3 will make it. And then they had to mix George's things with it. Some of them might not make it. So I was just like, great. And some people do have none at the end. But when she told me they took 6, I was just like, I was crushed. But then, I was like, okay, let's just hope for the best. And then the following day, I came home and they called me, and that was like the best news in my life, is when they said 4 made it. I was like, okay, that's not bad. So we had 4 embryos, and then we transfer our 1 embryo. And unfortunately, that day, 2 of them didn't make it to the freezer. We called the freezer. So
what does that mean? Like they
didn't make it.
Told you 4 were good. Why would 2 all of a sudden not be good?
I guess it's just that's how it is. It's weird. Like how you say it. It's just it wasn't growing. You could say it wasn't growing.
Oh, okay.
So they couldn't put it in the freezer because it wasn't going to grow. So 2 of those were trashed, which sucks. And so I do have 1 more left that's frozen. So we're hoping, in a year or 2 or 3, when we do transfer that one, hopefully it's a good egg, because we didn't do no tests in our eggs. That was like another $1,500 for each embryo. We had to test them.
Tests for
just everything, the gender, Down syndrome, and stuff like that.
Genetic testing.
Genetic testing. So we can't afford anything else. So, and the doctor said because of my age that I shouldn't test them. So I was like, okay. So we did what the doctor said, and it was okay. So we have 1 left. So we don't know if that's a good egg or not, a good embryo or a bad embryo, but we hope for the best for that last one.
Can I ask, if it's not too sensitive, how old were you when you were going through this? Like, how did age play a role in your doctor's recommendations?
They said that my age wasn't old, I guess. How old am I now? 34. I started at 32? 32? Yeah. So they said I wasn't old enough. Because we actually wanted to do 2 embryos. We wanted to put 2 in. And the doctor was like, no, if you were 38, 39, we would be okay. Your age, it's up there. So we're going to do 2, but you're still young and a lot of things could happen. And so we're like, okay, let's do 1. And that's what they also said. If you do put 2, your embryo could split and you could have triplets or quadruplets. I was like, I can't do that. So like, let's just do 1. And that's what we decided. That was like right there and then, like after, because I had to sign the paper saying how many embryos I'm going to transfer. And then she had 1. I was like, we actually want 2. And then she brought the doctor in. The doctor was talking to us and they're like, let's just do 1. I was like, all right.
So basically, because you were so young at 32 to be going through this process, they said you don't really need to test the embryos because they're probably fine because you're so young. Okay,
Right.
Gotcha. But if you were over 35, they probably would have wanted to do genetic testing.
Even though I felt old, I feel old, but
no.
the doctor's eyes, they're like, no, you should be okay. I was like, all right.
So you really wanted twins, but they wouldn't.
We wanted to just to get that 50-50, what if one doesn't stick and the other one would stick? That's the only reason. I really didn't want twins, but we just wanted to put 2. If 1 stick, we had another one,
When they transferred the embryo, what is that process like? Is that painful? Do they have to open you up? Or?
Very fast. Is I'm actually awake for that, and George was actually with me for the egg retrieval. He wasn't allowed in, and I was oh my gosh, what do you call that when you're under?
Oh, yep, just put under.
Yes,
general anesthesia.
Right, that's it. So I was under, so I couldn't feel anything. But for the transfer, George was there, and there was like a screen, and you could see like the needle like going in, like you see everything, and you see it like poking and like putting in. I was like, And I got so emotional when I saw that. I was like, oh, like I'm literally like pregnant, you know, so I was like, wow, that was a very emotional day. Like I said, my legs were up and they put the huge thin needle and George got choked up too seeing it. So it was a good time. And
Were you at all worried or nervous, or was it all just excitement?
Everyone that goes to this, we get nervous because we want it to stick. So like the back of my head, I was like, oh, what if this doesn't work? You know, we only have one more left, you know, so because we don't have money to do another round. Like some people do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rounds of IVF. So I was like, we can't afford that. I was like, if this doesn't work this round or the next round, then it is what it is. We have to get other options or just be me and George for the rest of our lives, you know?
What's the waiting period before you go back to confirm it or not? Or do you just confirm it yourself with an at-home pregnancy test?
No, after we do the transfer, I was in bed rest for like a day or two. And after that is just like any 2-week wait. We have to wait for 2 weeks. It was a long 2 weeks, but I already started feeling like those. I don't know. I googled everything, like my boobs itchy. Oh my gosh, this means I'm pregnant. Like feeling this. I'm smelling weird things. So I already started feeling like I was already pregnant. But then again, I was like, it's on in my head. I was like, stop. I was like, because you just did a transfer, so you think you're pregnant, and which we are, but until it's proven, we're not. We had to go back to the doctor, and we did a blood test, and that blood test came back 1 day later, 2 days later. And that's when, I'm actually going to play it for you. Let me see. Okay, here it goes.
Hi, Liz. This is Morgan from Dr. Custom. Hope you're doing well. I'm sorry to leave this on a voicemail, but we are thrilled to tell you that your test is indeed positive today. We're very happy for you. Congratulations. Numbers are starting out looking fantastic.
So that was Morgan. We became real close friends. She's a nurse. And then we went there the following week, which was week 5, and they checked and they saw the little dot of the placenta like starting. They're like, okay, you are pregnant, legit. I'm like, okay, great. And then that's when he was like, don't come back for 2 weeks. And that was week 7. 5, 6, 7. So week 7, I went back to see how the baby's growing. And that's when it was so funny. He's like, okay, you put your leg up.
Mm-hmm.
And he put the Miss Wanda in, and he looked at it. He's like, oh my gosh. And he's like, the nurse, like, can I have her papers? I was like, oh my gosh, what's going on? So he looked at the papers and he wanted to check how many embryos I transferred. This is a different doctor.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, oh my gosh. And he touched my leg and he's like, I was like, what? I was like, he touched my leg so hard. I was like, what the heck? And he's like, well, we have exciting news for you. Your embryo split and you guys are having identical twins. I was like, oh my God. My legs were like so numb. They're like shaky. I was like, no. And the nurses, they all look like they never seen it before. They're like, what? They're like, oh my gosh. And George was like, you're kidding, right? This is insane. It was.
So you delivered at 34 and 5.
Yes.
How many days did each twin spend in the NICU?
Noah spent 7 and Gabe spent 10. It felt like eternity. It felt forever. It was the longest day, and it killed me to take Noah home and leave Gabe there.
Mm-hmm.
I cried. I was like, my hormones just everywhere. So you feel like a bad mom for leaving one there. Also, I was like breastfeeding, and then I had to pump. George had to drive a half hour to 40 minutes to the hospital and give them milk. It was just so much stuff. But and then they just wanted to keep them there just to be safe. And then I had to keep thinking, I was like, they know what they're doing, It's better than them come home with Noah and then stop breathing or whatever. So I was like, just keep them there and keep him there. And then a couple of days later, he came home. So that's when the fun started.
Yeah, exactly. I'm going to look through my questions really quick, make sure I didn't miss anything. Oh, okay. So going way back before you even did the IVF stuff, I forgot to ask this. Before you went to the clinic for IVF, or before you even went to the original, more natural specialist, did you experience any miscarriages or losses?
No, you know, and that's what I was worried. I was like, I never got pregnant, and I never had a miscarriage, which is a good thing, you know, that it didn't happen to me, because if it did, it would probably be it's crazy. Like, I have a lot of friends that had miscarriage. It's rough. It takes a toll on them. But no, that did not happen to me. I just couldn't, like, the doctors, they don't have an explanation, and that's what kills me. They don't know what is wrong with me or what is wrong with George. They don't know. The one thing they said is that my eggs and George's sperm does not meet. They cross each other, so they never meet each other. So that's one of the reasons why I can't get pregnant.
Is that, I've never heard of that before.
I never heard of that either. They say it doesn't, like, his is too, they say it's slow, or my eggs are too fast, or I don't know what they call, but they say they don't meet each other, and that's what causes me not to get pregnant. He said IUI is not going to work. Clomidid is not going to work either. So sometimes I feel like it was me, but, you know,
no.
to this day, like, when we don't know, I'm never going to know, I guess, you know.
So I guess that makes sense now why, because at first, knowing a lot of my friends who have dealt with fertility struggles, when they first go to the fertility specialist, they do all these other things like IUI, what you talked about. They take drugs like Clomid.
Yeah.
They do so many things prior to IVF being the last option. So, I mean, obviously, no matter what, it's hard, but in a way, at least they ran those tests and knew that those things wouldn't work, so that you didn't have to waste your money and time on those. What is your advice to women out there struggling with fertility?
It's tough. Have a strong support system, because this does take a toll. Even now, I have my twins. It's tough. I know a lot of people that goes through this, and it's hard for them. And even for me, you know, to get pregnant through IVF, I always thought I was going to be pregnant by myself. And that wasn't the case. But I'm glad that IVF worked out for me. And definitely have a strong support system. Your husband, your partner, be strong together, because you guys are one in this, and you guys need to help each other out. Yes, our hormones are going to be crazy, but your husband, your partner needs to be your backbone, and just have faith, and you need a good attitude to begin with this. You can't start this journey and be like, oh, it's not going to happen. You have to come out and be like, yes, this is going to happen. I am going to get pregnant, and this is going to be a great chapter in our lives. So I definitely say a good support system, and just have faith, and just believe in yourself, and believe in the doctors that's going to take you through this journey, that you'll have your miracle baby very soon.
How do you feel thinking back on all, like, when you look at your twins and you think of all that you've been through? Like, do you just get choked up all the time?
All the time. They're more than what I needed. Every day, I thank God. I say, you didn't have to give me this, but He gave me two. And I'm trying so hard to be the best mom that I can. It's hard being a twin mom. It's so hard. But I look at them, and I thank God that I have them, that I went through all that for them to see their smiling faces, Gaby and Noah clapping. It's the cutest little things ever. It's just these little moments you have to cherish forever. And my husband has been so good. He's been so good. Such a good dad. And definitely people that are doing IVF, and definitely get your husband, your partner involved, because it takes a lot on your body. And like they want to experience that too. Like I would tell George everything. I would tell him how I feel. Like he was like if he was pregnant too, I'd be like, babe, I'm feeling this and everything. I was like, I'm hungry for this, and I would tell him everything so he will feel connected with me. So I definitely say just be with your best friend and just share every second with your husband or your partner.
George sounds like he's the perfect partner for everything
He
he
is.
went through.
He's sent from above. Like he is amazing. He is amazing.
So now that you do have twins, what advice do you have for twin moms out there? Because you're still in the thick of it with 9-month twins.
Yeah.
What's your biggest advice and tips for any twin moms watching?
A huge tip that I learned from myself is do not compare yourself to a singleton mom. That was huge on me, because my one friend, she had one kid, and it was like 2 weeks later she was already out in the park and she was doing this, and I was still stuck at home. I was like, why is she going out and I'm not? Like, having twins it's not just taking one car seat and going to a park. It's two. Everything is double. It's so much more work. So don't compare yourself to a singleton mom that only has one kid, because you're going to stress yourself out, because I stressed myself out. And so I definitely say don't compare, because it's a lot. Having twins is a lot of work.
Do you ever feel guilty when you, because I know there are times where it's hard and you feel down and you have hormones. Like, how do you feel when that kind of stuff bubbles up?
Now or before? Because I know before it was tough seeing all these pregnancy announcements, and so that was tough.
I guess, yeah, going back, like before, how was it hearing that? And then let's start with back. How was it hearing your friends announce pregnancies and stuff while you were struggling?
It was very, very, very tough. I tried to tone that out, I'll be happy for them, congratulations, but deep inside it hurts. What killed me too, it hurt a lot, was when and I love them to death, but it was just so much. When his sister-in-law announced that she was pregnant with her second, that on Mother's Day, it killed me. But I love them so much. It was just a lot when she announced it, and I was happy for them, but it just took a toll. I was just like, why can't it be me? Like, why? It wouldn't even start IVF at that point. But it was like so hard to hear it. And just like any post, like when I went through that, I feel like everybody was getting pregnant, and like the most like gender reveal parties and this and that. I was just like, it's not me. But I was like, you know what? One day it will be me. And I'll never forget when I started IVF, I took a picture of the screen where you see the baby, and it was just empty. And I was just like, one day I'm going to see a baby in there. And I did. And I saw two. So yeah, it's definitely, it's hard. It was hard seeing those announcements all over social media.
What are the worst things like people can say to someone who's struggling with fertility?
Try to relax. There's so much. There's one thing, don't say it. Is it you or is it him? And that just killed, like, or another thing was like, oh, George's soldiers are not doing the right thing, and that killed me. Yeah, people said that. People said that, and it crushed me. Like, George tried to take it like a man, but when he told me he was crying too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was tough. It was tough. People need to have a heart when it comes to this stuff, but they don't. But those people made me and George so much stronger. They made our marriage so strong. Like, it's insane how strong our marriage is right now. A lot of people, marriage fails and stuff like that, but me and George, we got so strong, and it's been a blessing. It's been an amazing 5 years married to him. You're killing me.
I know. I'm sorry. These are just honest questions.
Who the heck's texting me? Uh-oh. It's George.
He's like, the boys need to go to their crib.
Yeah, I just said the boys, I need to change diapers.
Oh. We'll be done really soon. Yeah. Give us 5 minutes.
Okay, that's what I just wrote him. Okay.
Leave him on the floor. All right. So with that, last words, closing statements.
I think we cover everything. We cover laughter. We cover tears. We cover everything in between. You can't do this by yourself. You need help. You need support. You need love. And we're all here for you. And yeah, I think
Where can people find you on social, YouTube, all that?
You can find me on Instagram at Life with, let's think about it, at Life with Lo Vlogs. And also my Facebook page is also Life with Lo. And that's pretty much in my channel, Life with Lo. Everything is Life with Lo, except for my Instagram. It's Life with Lo Vlogs. But yeah, definitely I'm here to help out. If you guys have any questions, personal questions, send me a DM, and I'll definitely, talk to you if you need someone to talk to. Yes. Thanks for having me.
So much. I'm so glad that we both were able to do this after hours.
Yes.
Now we'll let Gabe and Noah go to bed in their room.
Yes. Thank you so much. It was fun.
I hope you guys enjoyed watching that interview. It was super fun for me to get to talk to another mama on my channel. As you know, it's usually just little old me, and it was really fun to shine the spotlight on someone else, especially someone as inspiring as Lola. In the description below, I'll have a link to her entire IVF journey playlist so that you can see everything as it happened. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!